Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This Shabbos Parshat Beshalach. It's called Shabbos Shira. It's one of the 5 times a year which we have a name, a special Shabbos, and it's the Shabbos of the song which Moshe and the Jewish people sang as we had the greatest miracle in the history of the world of the splitting of the sea. The greatest miracle to ever happen to the Jewish people, going totally against the natural order of the flow of water. It's a very interesting Talmud that says that creating a relationship, creating a partnership between a husband and wife, his spouses, is kashek kriyas yamsuf, is as difficult as splitting of a sea. The obvious question is, well, no question relationships are challenging and they need to be worked on, but how can we say that it's as difficult as a splitting of a sea? Baruch Hashem, we have many marriages that we see that flourish. We have more than 260 marriages that are made just on our shul, on our rooftop. And so how can we say it's as difficult as splitting of a sea? We haven't had any splitting of the sea in Brickell, but we made many marriages. And so why does the Talmud say that? And so it's a very interesting word that's used in the Az Yashir, and that is in the Torah portion that we made, that the word is le'esano. Le'esano could be, the Talmud says, could be transformed to the word t'nai, which means condition. God made a condition. He made a condition with the Yam Suf, with this Reed Sea, that the Red Sea, that it's going to split thousands of years prior to creation. One day you're going to see these beautiful Jewish souls, and when you see these beautiful Jewish souls coming, because God prophesied and planned this exodus and this slavery and exodus, he already told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and prior to that he made a condition with the sea. And that is that the sea will see the Jewish souls, and they will open up, these beautiful Jewish souls, and you will split and allow them to walk through, and then you'll go back to your flow. What happens is that the sea comes, the Jewish people come, and the sea sees these Jews. They're no longer that beautiful soul that he was promised. The Jews were like Egyptian slaves. They were exactly like the Egyptians. It said they were idol worshippers. They only kept 3 things, and because of that they were redeemed: their identity, their clothing, and their names. But ultimately they were sinners like the Egyptians. Many of them didn't even leave Egypt. And so when the sea sees them, they says, we're not splitting for these Jews. We're not going to be, this wasn't the deal that I made. But then the sea becomes very afraid. As it says in the Hallel, Hayam Ra Vayanos, the sea sees and becomes afraid and runs away. What does the sea see? This S-E-E-S-E-A. And the answer is the sea sees Atzmais Yosef, the bones of Joseph. Now Joseph was a great leader of the Egyptian people. He was the viceroy of Egypt. While inside he remained Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph the righteous, because he remained holy throughout the time that he was in his leadership role of the Egyptian government. And when he didn't assimilate into the Egyptian society, he always remained a tzaddik. He always remained holy and righteous, and his inside was always pure, and his outside looked like he was a viceroy. When Joseph passed away, it was too late to bring his bones to the land of Israel, where he's buried today, in the city of Shechem, in the city of Nablus, what it's called in English. And they had to bury him on the bottom of a Nile river, because they were afraid that they would mummify him, because he was one of the kings, like King Tut. And so it says that Moses brought up the bones of Joseph when everyone was busy with the Paschal lamb, with the Karban Pesach, getting ready for Passover offering. Moses brings up the bones of Joseph, and he's bringing them towards the sea as they are exiting towards the land of Israel. When the sea sees this, it realizes that Joseph on the outside looked like a viceroy, but inside always remained pure and always remained a tzaddik. And when he sees it, becomes very afraid, because it remembers the oath that it made, it remembers the decree that it made with God, that all of these Jewish people, they may look like slaves, they may look like Egyptians, but inside they were a pure tzaddik. They are pure and righteous, and because of that, it splits. And that's why the Talmud says kashek kriyas yamsuf. It's as difficult as kriyas yamsuf, because when we have to realize that the people that we meet, when we are born, it says that God pairs us up with one partner or another partner, and then later on in life, 20 years, 25, 30 years goes by, and we don't look the same as that original soul, on that original soul level. Nevertheless, when we see people for who they are, when we see people there for their internal, not just the external, but look at their internal beauty, that is when we can truly cherish and create a very powerful relationship. It's a very special week this week, as it's the week of Yud Shvat, and this was something that the Rebbe's vision of seeing the purity in every single individual. It didn't matter who he was or how they were, and because of that, he wanted to go out and elevate their spark. Even on the outside, may not look like they have the potential of being someone that's what we call a good Jew, but inside, every single person is pure. And when the Rebbe saw every single individual for his neshama inside, he was able to break through all barriers. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and I hope to see you in Shul tonight, 6 p.m. We have a very large Shabbat dinner tonight, and tomorrow morning, services at 10:15. Join us for this very special Shira, the song of Az Yashir. Shabbat Shalom.